chosen one. You didn't land here by mistake. Oh no, this moment was written for you long before you even knew to look for it. Something inside you has already been stirring, hasn't it? That quiet sense that bigger is coming, that you're standing on the edge of something you can't quite name yet. Let me tell you, you're right. This is your confirmation. This is your sign. You've been walking through shadows, staying faithful when no one clapped for you, showing up when nobody was watching. That kind of persistence doesn't go unnoticed. Not in heaven, not in the unseen. And now the tables are turning. The ground is shifting beneath your feet in the best possible way. You are chosen. Say that to yourself out loud. I am chosen. Not everyone gets to carry this kind of weight, this kind of light, this kind of destiny. But you do. Why? Because you're the one who didn't quit. You're the one who kept showing up, even tired, even unsure, even when everything in you wanted to sit down and stop. There is a divine connection hurtling toward you right now. A moment, a person, an open door, something so aligned, so perfectly tailored for you. It will leave you breathless. And the best part, you don't have to chase it. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to shrink. It's coming for you because you're ready. So lean in. Feel this in your chest. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are next. By the time you finish reading this, you'll understand what's been happening behind the curtain and why everything you've endured was preparing you to carry what's coming. This is bigger than motivation. This is activation. You're about to step into rooms your name has already been whispered in. You're about to see why the waiting was worth it. So take a breath. Roll your shoulders back. Own your space. And if you feel that fire sparking in your spirit already, drop a 55 in the comments, claim it, and let the universe know you're ready. Looking for purpose and peace? Hit subscribe and start the journey. Underneath the surface, answers are often buried in places no map would lead. Help does not knock where you expect, nor where the colors you anticipate. It sidesteps the predictable paths and waits beyond the reach of your practiced gaze. Not dressed in prestige or wrapped in applause. It wears quietness like a cloak and waits for a heart that can see beyond the obvious. What arrives is nothing like the polished figures you've tried to impress. It does not shimmer with credentials, nor parade under spotlights. Instead, it stands in the shade, carrying a quiet authority, invisible to those who only look for noise. There is brilliance folded into the plain, gold veiled inside clay. This is not a performance to flatter your ego. It is a mission tied to your purpose, unshaken by who watches or applauds. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. The figure that shifts your course might seem small at first, unassuming, even overlooked, but their presence disturbs the air around you in a way that only truth can. They carry no titles to dazzle you, no stage to convince you, only a rare substance that stirs what's dormant within you. Many miss what's sent because they are watching the wrong doors, searching for the kind of grandeur that sells, but does not save. Soften your perception. Notice the ones who enter silently, but leave a mark. Those who offer without calculation, who speak to what is possible in you when no one else sees. This moment requires a different kind of vision, one that listens where others talk, one that feels where others measure. Someone is already stepping toward you, already holding keys you did not know you'd need, already speaking your name where you cannot hear it yet. It will not come dressed to impress, but designed to transform, not as a transaction, not as an obligation, but as a signal from beyond you, unmistakable once felt. You will know, not because it shouts, but because it quiets every doubt. You will know because it feels like something only the divine could arrange. Faith does not flourish because ambition burns brighter. It flourishes because surrender runs deeper. What lifts a life is not the clamor to be noticed, but the quiet choice to remain aligned when everything else demands compromise. The ones who ascend do not scramble to stand under every spotlight or perfect every angle for approval. They bend where others stiffen. They listen when others perform. Even when circumstances seem to contradict their hope, they continue walking with intention, unwilling to trade integrity for applause. What unfolds next is not earned by outshining others, nor maneuvering through networks. It emerges because the soul has learned to stay steady when no one is clapping. not the result of winning the loudest race, but of keeping the deepest vow. Each unnoticed effort, each moment of restraint when provoked, each silent victory in the privacy of one's own heart, they all weave together into an unseen momentum, the kind that moves unseen hands to open the right doors at the right time without any calculation from you. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. These openings do not cater to vanity, nor arrive dressed to entertain ambition. They slip in softly but powerfully, carrying just enough weight to shift the course without suffocating it. This is not a coincidence, not an accident. It is the fruit of alignment. Even the things that fell apart before this moment were not accidents. The absence you mourned was making room. The delay you cursed was shaping resilience. The endings that left you questioning were quietly preparing you for beginnings that would fit you better than anything you could have forced. When the right connection arrives, it will not distract you from your calling but deepen it. It will not inflate an image but anchor a purpose. The one trusted with such a moment is not the one who clamored for the crown, but the one who learned to kneel without bitterness. So when the way clears, step forward without arrogance, but without hesitation. Do not forget how you got here, not by proving, but by persisting, not by competing, but by choosing again and again to hold fast when it made no sense. Remain willing, remain open, remain surrendered, for the more the heart softens, the more the path sharpens. And what comes next is not a trophy to possess, but a release into what was always waiting, not earned, but entrusted. Some doors are not opened by calculation or charm. They respond only to a quiet alignment no strategy can imitate. What is about to unfold does not require crafting a persona or bending yourself to fit into someone else's mold. The next chapter is not unlocked through clever networking or rehearsed connections. It happens through a kind of recognition that does not come from eyes, but from within. This meeting will not demand endless motion from you or pressure you to prove anything. It finds you when you remain true to who you are. No resume or portfolio will summon it. No crafted story or polished image can substitute the invisible signal that has already gone out ahead of you. The one arriving is drawn not to the version of you the world projects, but to the core that has quietly endured. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. When the right presence steps into your orbit, something shifts that language cannot quite capture. No forced smiles or persuasive pitches are needed. Only a quiet certainty that resonates deeper than understanding. The atmosphere itself feels lighter, as if it recognizes what is meant to be. Instead of pressure, there is a surprising calm. Instead of rehearsing lines to impress, there is relief in simply being seen. This is not ambition in disguise, but something more elemental, like two threads finally weaving into the same fabric. The connection that comes does not ask you to dim your strength to make space for it. Instead, it amplifies what was already alive, drawing out pieces you kept hidden. It does not compete with you or bind you to its expectations, but instead stands beside you, ready to reinforce what is already growing. This is not manufactured by clever plans or crafted invitations. It is orchestrated beyond what can be staged or strategized. There is no ego in it, only readiness and timing that have finally aligned. And when this presence enters your life, it does more than open a path. It awakens something in you that felt buried. A sentence, a gesture, a direction offered at just the right moment confirms what your heart already suspected. There is no reason to chase this. No need to force a meeting or devise clever ways to be noticed. What is meant for you drifts toward you because the signal has been sent long before you knew where to stand. Remain steady in your own work. Leave the scheming behind. Trust that when everything is in place, the right figure arrives, not confused about your worth, not blind to what rests upon you. What is unfolding does not depend on how visible you are or how skillfully you maneuver. It depends on what has quietly taken root and on a timing you could not manufacture if you tried. And because it emerges from a deeper current, it endures long after strategies fall away. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. Some chapters feel erased too soon, as if they slipped through unnoticed, leaving only echoes behind. Pieces of what once was scatter without warning. Doors close without explanation, and you wonder if too much was lost to ever recover. But what seems like a wound is often a shield. What appears stripped away was quietly removed to guard what was still becoming. Not everything you thought you needed belonged to where you were heading. Sometimes absence is mercy in disguise, and endings are simply turns in a greater path. The timing you thought expired was never yours to measure. The opportunities that passed were not failures, but placeholders for something more exact. And now, through what seems like a quiet arrival, what you thought dissolved begins to take shape again. Not as it was, but as it was always meant to be. This connection is not a repair to broken memories, but the unfolding of what was promised all along. What returns is not patched up pieces of what once hurt you. What comes is complete, strong, and ready to stand. This encounter carries more weight than its simplicity suggests, more depth than the surface reveals, because it is not simply kindness, but fulfillment. The words spoken to you, the trust extended to you, the way they recognize you without needing a single explanation. It softens places inside you that even you thought were too hardened to feel. Their presence does not merely soothe old scars, but affirms what you suspected about yourself all along. Nothing good was truly lost. What you sowed in silence, what you gave when no one noticed, what you endured when nobody came, none of it evaporated. It has been held, and now it returns not just intact but multiplied. Where once you stood empty-handed, now you find your arms filled with what no one else could have delivered. You are seen without having to beg for it. You are valued without having to plead your case. Not by those who walked away when the weight grew heavy, but by someone prepared to lift it with you. This is not about recovering what you mourned. It is about stepping fully into what was being prepared beyond your sight. You do not gather shards and try to rebuild what crumbled. You walk forward into something whole and undamaged, something that outshines what you thought you lost. Restoration here does not simply fill the gap. It expands it into something greater. This is more than healing. This is transformation. What once felt like silence now speaks with clarity. What once felt barren now overflows. This connection carries with it a quiet authority, an unmistakable sense that every delay had a reason and every detour led here. What greets you now carries no fragments of the past's pain. It comes complete, timely, and undeniable, proof that nothing entrusted to the divine ever truly disappears. And as you step through this threshold, you realize nothing is missing anymore. Everything arrives as though it had always been waiting for you, perfectly timed and perfectly whole. Patience plants what noise cannot grow. Some answers arrive not because of how loudly you ask, but because of how steadily you stand. While many bend themselves into shapes that win approval, you remain unmoved, holding to what you know even when it costs you a place at their tables. Others adjust their truth to fit trends, sanding down their edges to blend in. But you keep choosing the quiet road, faithful to what is entrusted to you in unseen moments. That resolve does not vanish into the air. It collects like water beneath the surface, gathering weight until the day it overflows. What is about to unfold is not luck or chance. It is the echo of what you've carried all along. This arrival is not random. It rises out of every silent choice you made to remain whole when compromise seemed easier. While some raced ahead on shortcuts, you held your ground and kept your hands clean. That integrity does not go unnoticed. A figure enters now, moved by something they cannot fully explain. They don't come because of the noise around your name, nor because of how you advertise yourself. They are drawn by what they sense beneath the surface, a depth you never broadcast, but which speaks anyway. You do not have to convince them of your worth. Their attention is not rooted in your visibility, but in something more ancient. The quiet, steadfast rhythm you refused to break even when no one was watching. They show up with keys you didn't know were being forged, words you didn't know you needed, and a space you didn't think was still waiting for you. Not to fix what's broken, but to call to what's been buried. Not to reward ambition, but to recognize endurance. Here, the seeds planted in obscurity begin to break through. Not all at once, but enough to remind you they were never forgotten. The doors you thought locked forever respond to what's been stored inside you all along. This honor doesn't arrive from the crowd you chased in your mind. It emerges from a direction you never expected, carried by someone who sees you without explanation. They don't need to be convinced. They already know, even if they don't know how they know. It isn't just a meeting or an opportunity. It is acknowledgement. It is the tangible answer to countless unseen offerings, the kind of recognition that outlasts shifting opinions. When it arrives, do not minimize what you endured to stand here. Do not shrink to fit their expectations. There is no need to. You remained steady when everything tried to move you. Now someone is moved to meet you where you are. They don't appear out of accident, but out of timing. They are already on their way, already carrying what was always meant for you. And the beauty is, they cannot look away. Not because you shout the loudest, but because your faithfulness whispers louder than words. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. Ephesians 3 verse 20. It's like planting a single seed in dry soil and waking up to find an entire orchard where you only expected one tree. That's what this season feels like. You thought you were waiting on one blessing, one door, one moment. But what's about to break loose in your life is far greater than you've dared to believe. What arrives now does not confine itself to a single outcome. It unfolds wider, deeper, and richer than anything your mind has pictured. It reaches into places you didn't even know were barren and fills them. You've been standing in faith, watering the ground, not knowing heaven's already been laying foundations beneath the surface. This is not just one small answer to prayer. It's a divine chain reaction, a spiritual domino effect, set into motion by your obedience and your persistence. You've been faithful, and heaven's been busy. You thought you were waiting for a solitary breakthrough, but what's coming is more like a river than a drop. One encounter shifts the atmosphere, opening corridors that once were sealed shut. Where you used to see walls, now you'll see passageways. Where you used to feel stuck, now you'll feel carried. Sometimes all it takes is one right person, one conversation, one whispered recommendation in a room you've never walked into, and suddenly, your whole life pivots. That one introduction God sends your way is not just a connection, it's a catalyst. Like a spark hitting dry wood, it lights up everything it touches. What begins as a simple meeting blossoms into doors swinging open, new voices speaking into your life, visions becoming clearer, and directions snapping into place. At first glance, you may think, oh, this is it. This is the blessing I've been praying for. But oh no, child of God, that's just the first glimpse. You're only seeing the tip of what's been prepared for you. Because what's coming carries more than you imagined. It carries answers and access. It brings clarity and confirmation. It brings you into spaces you didn't even know were waiting for you. Places where people have already been prepared to receive what you carry. You might have thought you were asking God for a drop of water, but He's about to send you the whole well. So keep your spirit open. Keep your eyes lifted. Because one connection, divinely orchestrated, can shift the entire story. Not just for you, but for everyone tied to your assignment. Get ready to walk through not just one door, but many. This is not just your blessing, it's your overflow. The one who steps toward you does not simply arrive holding help. They arrive carrying access, insight, and alignment all at once. This is not coincidence dressed as opportunity, nor is it manufactured through effort. It is a weaving of timing and preparation you could not have orchestrated if you tried. Through them, new rooms open without you knocking. Your name rises in places you never set foot, and favor shows up where you once felt invisible. Not because of calculation, but because timing and faith have finally met. It is not just external. This moment speaks to what has been waiting inside you as well, confirming what you've quietly known, but could not yet speak. They see what has been buried under hesitation. They awaken the builder, the dreamer, the leader you've carried quietly for years. And while their presence unlocks opportunity, it also untangles doubt. Their words settle unspoken questions. Their recognition strengthens your footing. They step in carrying answers you didn't know how to ask for, and their presence brings direction you couldn't find on your own. More than just access to rooms, it softens the way ahead. You find doors already open, hearts already ready, and conversations already leaning in your favor. What once felt like resistance now feels like ease, not because of luck, but because every not yet prepared you for this yes. You no longer have to shout to be seen. The right eyes are already on you. The right hearts already understand. And what begins as your breakthrough quickly spills beyond you, blessing not just your steps, but those connected to your journey. This is not only about your elevation, it is about your influence becoming a bridge for others. As you rise, so do those tethered to you. The doors you walk through now create openings behind you. What you step into becomes a space for others to stand taller. This is more than a single victory. It is a widening river that touches everyone around you. What once looked like a single open door reveals itself as a passageway into something larger than you dared to hope. A moment designed not only to lift you, but to multiply through you. There are moments when you feel unseen, but all the while, your name is already echoing in circles your feet haven't yet touched. While you keep moving quietly, plans are being drafted, discussions are unfolding, and spaces are being shaped in anticipation of you. Long before you enter, your presence is felt through your faith, your endurance, and the quiet strength you carry. The individuals destined to intersect with your path may not yet understand what draws them, but something beyond explanation stirs them toward you. This isn't the result of self-promotion or force. It is an unseen hand writing your name into stories you cannot yet read. No need to chase notice or craft an image. What is meant for you is already searching for you. There are people who have glimpsed pieces of your work but haven't spoken up, yet they feel an unshakable pull toward you. Others hear you mentioned casually and can't let it go. These are not coincidences, but quiet confirmations, invisible signals that everything is aligning. While you still wrestle with questions about when or how, the pieces have already begun to move. And because of that, you must remain vigilant. Fatigue must not pull you out of place. Disappointment must not convince you to lay down what you've been entrusted with. Stay sharp in the silence. Stay grounded when no evidence seems to show. Every ordinary act of faithfulness counts. Every decision to continue when quitting would be easier is a signal to what is unfolding beyond sight. You cannot predict which step becomes the turning point, so treat each one as sacred. Do not despise the quiet seasons. What feels still on the surface is already alive beneath it. Even now, the right eyes are being prepared to see you at the right time. Every preparation you make becomes evidence that you're ready to carry what's waiting. This is not the moment to let heaviness settle over you or to treat delay as defeat. You are not forgotten. You are being spoken of in rooms you've never entered, by voices you've never heard, and soon you will see how every sacrifice was setting the stage. Seeds planted in solitude will soon break the surface. What appears to be waiting is actually perfect alignment. Conversations, doors, and hearts are being positioned to meet you. You are not only remembered, you are being actively requested by the very destiny you've been preparing for. What is coming will not require you to knock or compete. It will reach for you, because the timing was never yours to manufacture. The person carrying the keys to your next chapter is already moving closer. Not because you demanded access, but because you stayed authentic. When the moment comes, you will recognize it instantly. There will be clarity, peace, and an undeniable awareness that this could only have been arranged by something greater. And from that single encounter, a series of breakthroughs will unfold, reshaping finances, relationships, purpose, and everything tethered to your calling. So keep your heart clear. Keep showing up as if the door could open today. Do not let what you cannot yet see distract you from what is already in motion. The weight you feel now is only the signal that everything is nearly ready to emerge. Your name is being carried into places you cannot yet imagine. What has been forming quietly will soon be revealed openly. Keep your spirit attuned to what matters most, and keep giving your best even when it feels unnoticed. The light coming for you is not crafted by people, but orchestrated beyond them. You are not rising because you pretend to be something you're not, but because you stayed true when no one was clapping. The stage is already set, and you are about to step into what has been waiting for you all along.